Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out at the range with one of my favorite firearms, plus a brand new version of my favorite or one of my favorite firearms. You always ask me what's my favorite firearm. That's like saying what's your favorite child. It's not possible for me to answer honestly. But definitely one of my favorite firearms is the B&T USA TP9. This is an older gun. I've had this one for quite some time. Of course, it's in flat dark earth. It now has the B&T suppressor on it, the Aimpoint T2 micro sight, and because it is an SBR, it does have the side folding B&T stock. This is an earlier model of the gun. We're going to show you a current generation gun that's just now starting to come into the country that really has me excited and will probably have a lot of you excited as well. But this one has a pick rail that bolts onto the bottom of its polymer receiver, and that's why I have a vertical fore-end grip on it. If you know anything about the TP9, the original had a molded in, slightly raking forward grip. Well, this doesn't quite look like the original submachine gun. And that's been a sticking point for a lot of folks. They really want that original look. I'm one of those folks. I would take the original look over this look, although I'm 100% happy with this gun. Well, B&T, being the good company that they are, was listening. And they have now offered, or will be offering here, starting now, a brand new TP9 that I'm really anxious to show you guys. But first, let's take a few shots out of this bad boy. We have some 147 grain subsonic ammunition from Freedom Munitions. They do donate ammunition to the channel, but what's really cool about those guys is the fact that we, of course, shoot a ton of their ammo, and we thank them for that, but also they offer a 6% discount code, and we get no kickbacks from you guys using that code, but you can buy as much ammo as you want. They sell all sorts of ammunition in their store, not just Freedom Munitions brand. They sell Federal and Hornady and all sorts of other brands, and that 6% discount code is store-wide. So that code is down below. But today we're shooting some of their actual branded 147 grain subsonic ammunition. This is not the Hush line. This is just their standard 147 grain ball. And I love this gun for any number of reasons, but especially suppressed. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a few shots here. Make sure I got my safety off. That's a different part with the new gun we'll talk about. And I'm just gonna shoot into the dirt here so you guys can hear how quiet the gun is, and then I'm gonna finish up banging away at some steel. Okay, enough of that. Now let's go ahead and beat up the steel plate. And she locks open. Now I've heard some guys complain about this can. I don't know what they're complaining about. I really like the silencer on the gun. They do now have a mount, which I'll show you later, where you can take this TP9 specific mount off, put a different adapter on it, and run it on a tri-lug with their tri-lug guns. So I'll show you that later. I did get my hands on one of those conversion kits. But anyway, so this is my original gun. You've seen it many times here on the channel. Now let's take a look at the brand new TP9 that B&T USA is bringing into the country, plus one very cool accessory. Before we go on to the next segment, guys, it's 39 degrees out here and really warm, so I'm gonna just strip down to my fleece. But I always get 100 questions whenever I change jackets or coats here on the Military Arms channel, so I'm trying to head off those questions so I don't have to type the same response 100 times. Yes, this is a new jacket I'm wearing on the channel. This is made by TruSpec. It's an outer shell. You can zip in a liner if you want to. I picked this up because I was going to go hunting and it called for rain and a light mist, and so I wanted to try this jacket out in the field, and so far it works really, really well. I like it, and if you're interested in picking one up, head over to Amazon or the TruSpec website and you can pick one up. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to the guys at TruSpec because I do like the jacket. I reached out to them. I'm gonna see if I can't get you guys a discount code on the jacket because it really is a cool jacket. Some of the other jackets I wear, the green one is an SOD jacket, and that was given to me by my friend Instructor Zero many years ago. They're horribly expensive. When I found out how much it was, I tried to give him some money for it. He wouldn't accept it. And the other one I wear all the time is a Blackhawk. That's the gray one that has the patches on the shoulder. That's a Blackhawk outer shell, very similar to the TruSpec. So now I don't think I'm gonna have to answer any questions about the coats I wear, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now we can talk about what we're out here for. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the new TP9 US. This gun has a few different features from the gun I just showed you in the opening of the video. First of all, it's black, but they offer it in different colors, or will, I assume. It's brand new, just started coming into the country. But it has some functional differences. Plus, you'll notice I have a tailhook brace on it. This is really cool. So this is the cool feature I wanted to show you guys. That's an add-on. This does not come with the gun, but we will talk about it in this video because I just got it and I wanted to show it to you guys. And it mounts to the stock adapter that all the TP9s come with. So let's just go ahead and talk about the tailhook. So we'll talk about the legalities of this. I talked to the manufacturer of this brace adapter, and I'll talk about the ATF regulations a little bit. And then this is just a standard tailhook brace, which you guys have seen many times before. It unfolds and you use it as an arm stabilizing brace. You can collapse it, and then you have what in essence can be used as a brace against the shoulder. And this little tab right here screws into the tailhook. When it swings around, kind of like the factory SBR stock, it swings around, that little tab goes right in underneath the takedown lever and keeps it in the folded position by friction. So it's a well-designed, well-thought-out component, which is very similar to the stock. When you get your Form 1 paperwork back, you can take this off, put a real stock on it, and then you can use this next really cool feature, which really has me excited about the new TP9, and it's this big gaping hole in the bottom of it. Now, where we have a Picatinny rail in the older generation, which they say, I believe, they're going to continue to sell, instead of having a Picatinny rail down here, now we have a hole which has 2 screw mounts in there where we can put on a factory vertical fore-end grip with a slight forward rake that looks identical once mounted to the gun as the original submachine gun vertical fore-end grip. A lot of people have been asking for that, myself included. When I found out about it, I simply couldn't live without it because now I want to SBR this gun. Actually, what I'm probably going to do, this is in Copper Customs' name. We have applied for a manufacturing license. We have a manufacturing license with Definitive Arms, which is co-located with us, but this is on Copper's books. We're waiting for our manufacturing license to come back. Should be any day now. Once that happens, I will show you what the vertical fore-end grip looks like on the gun in a separate video. Aside from that, they made a few other subtle changes. This one for me, though, guys, is huge. All right, also, this brace adapter is made by Tech Smith Manufacturing. And I would put a link down below, but YouTube will strike my account again, so I can't do that. Just Google Tech Smith Manufacturing. You should be able to find this brace adapter and also this little piece that locks it into place. All right, so what are some of the other differences between this gun? Well, one of the things you'll notice right away is that it has a completely redesigned safety. Where the original TP9 and Steyr SPP and all the gun that came before that have a cross block safety, this one has an ambi selector lever, which I really like. Even in the fire position, it stays out of the way of my trigger finger. It's not uncomfortable. The lever is present on both sides. We still have our ambi magazine release. That hasn't changed. Just this has changed. So you have this change and you have this change. You'll also notice that the T-handle charging unit is just a little bit bigger, so you can get a hold of it a little bit easier. That's another change. But you still have your bolt hold open assembly here. So you can hold the gun, push up on this with your thumb, pull the T-handle to the rear, and lock the bolt to the rear. When you want to let the bolt go home, it locks open on the last shot fired. Hit that little button, she goes home. You'll also notice this gun has a silver colored bolt. I don't know if it's nitrided or not. My previous gun has a black bolt. All the new TP9s, even the ones without this new feature on the bottom but have the pick rail, all the new guns I've seen lately have this silver bolt versus the black. Mine is a very old gun. If you consider a couple of years old, but it's an older gun. So I think that's pretty much all the differences in the gun. This looks a little bit different to me if I recall right. I'll have to do a comparison. This is where the gun's now marked by ATF regulations. So it looks like the upper half here is actually nice and clear is actually considered the firearm, and that's where the markings are. And they've left this opening right here nice and clear for your engravings once you SBR the gun. This gun is SBR-able. That's why they've made it so you can put this vertical fore-end grip on it, because you can't legally put that on there unless it's registered as an AOW or an SBR. And when you SBR it, you have to engrave it, and they've left this spot here blank for you to do that. Which, again, given where these markings are, I'm assuming the top half, which is unique, is considered the firearm. All right, enough talking. Let's do a little bit of shooting with this bad boy. I'm gonna go ahead and lock the bolt open. And this time we're just gonna be shooting some 124 grain Freedom Munitions ball. This is their newly manufactured stuff. It's really affordable, but I use it all the time here on the channel. Drop the bolt. This gun's brand new, out of the box, no oil applied. Just took it out of the box just to shoot it. It's a little bit awkward with that hole down here for the vertical foreign grip. But again, if you're going to buy this one, you're buying it because you want to SBR it or make it any other weapon for some reason. I would just do the SBR so you can put the factory folding stock on it. But if you don't want this, again, just pick the one up with the 1913 rail. All right, let's see how this bad boy works. I really like this safety lever. I like the location of it. Since we don't have a suppressor on it, let's just go ahead and bang away at some steel. And she locks open, last shot fired. That, guys, is really freaking cool. I love this Tech Smith adapter. I really like the tailhook brace, and together this little package is really, really cool. Now, I do have every intention of remanufacturing this through Copper Custom into an SBR, putting a proper stock on it. But in the interim, this is a really, really cool option. It requires no paperwork. You can travel across state lines with it, all sorts of stuff, because it does not change the classification of this pistol. It doesn't change it into a short-barreled rifle, nothing. This is still considered a pistol and legal in any state that doesn't ban this particular type of firearm. So this is a really cool little setup. Let's do some more shooting with it, have some fun, show it side by side with the earlier generation TP9, and just have a fun day at the range and enjoy the slightly warm 39-degree weather. Let's talk about the legalities of this brace system. I already have seen conversations on the internet where people are screaming that this is illegal. So I checked with Tech Smith Manufacturing. Instead of me trying to remember this off the top of my head, I'm just going to read the email to you guys that's directly from Tech Smith. Okay, they say there are obscure guidelines which still have not been published by the BATF, but they're as follows. If you alter a brace, remove the Velcro, or change it in any way so it can no longer function as a brace, then it can be seen as a stock. Obviously, that's not the case with this particular device. If you modify a stock to fit a brace by removing the butt plate, it is allowed as long as it cannot be made back into a stock later, okay? Definitely not the case here. It's been permanently modified so you can't turn it back into a stock. And now this one is kind of funny. If the brace has a length of pull longer than 13.5 inches, it can be questionable. You would think the ATF, after all these years, would actually understand legal jargon. Questionable is so ambiguous that there is absolutely no foundation in law there. I'm not a lawyer, but yeah, that's, in my non-legal mind, pretty wide open there for interpretation, and probably wouldn't stand a test of court. And then they go on to talk about how there's no regulations against it. They buy the parts from B&T as parts. They're a manufacturer. They modify it so it cannot accept a stock ever again, and it can only accept a brace. Therefore, it should be just fine under law. I asked for a letter. They do not currently have a letter for it, but they're using the letter of the tailhook, which is the actual brace, and then they're going on the unpublished guidelines that they've discovered from ATF regarding the mounting device. So technically, they're only worried about the brace itself, which is covered under Tailhook's letter from the ATF. They also mentioned that Brownells.com will be carrying the adapters for the TP9, so apparently Brownells isn't too worried about it either. So therefore, I'm not too worried about it unless I get a phone call from the ATF, which I hope I never get. All right. Now the sight's the same. I'm going to put a red dot on it. The gun's definitely set up for a red dot sight. It has very minimalistic sights. You can adjust the rear sight for windage. As far as I can tell without reading the manual, there's no adjustments for elevation. You just have a very rudimentary front sight post, which is just that, very rudimentary. So let's see if these little sights are on right out of the box. These glasses don't work well. All right, so it's a little bit high. Ah. Now I'm screwing it up my glasses. Guys, I'm taking my glasses off. This length of pull is so short that my glasses keep getting hit by the rear of the gun. All right, there we go. Yeah, so the length of pull definitely feels shorter than from my SBR, and so much so that my glasses kept getting whacked by that. So if anything, the elevation's just a little bit off. I probably should read the manual. I don't see any way to adjust the elevation, so I'm just holding lower on the target. Eventually, when I buy another red dot sight, because I'm out of them, I will put a red dot sight on here. I wish it had a T2 micro, but those darn things are so stinking expensive, it'll probably wind up being an MRO or maybe even a primary arms red dot sight that I wind up putting on this gun. So, very fun little guy to shoot. Now let's just do a basic mag dump. What the heck? Yeah, so the trigger on these things, guys, is heavy and plasticky. It's a very long pull, and it's mushy, and it requires a full pull and reset. It's not really that well suited for rapid fire. The gun, keep in mind, was designed to be a submachine gun, but that does not take away from the fun factor. We're not going to field strip the gun, guys. I've already done that in a previous video. It's exactly the same internally as the previous generations of guns. So if you want to see how to take this gun apart, just go watch one of my other TP9 videos. But what I want to demonstrate is the fact that, let's go ahead and make the weapon safe. It is on safe. I'm going to lock the bolt to the rear. And you can see that the gun is safe. And now I'm going to take the TP9 suppressor. This is a B&T can meant for this gun. You'll notice it has this big tri-lug locking mechanism on it that's non-standard. There is an adapter for a tri-lug adapter, again for this TP9 suppressor, but how you put it on, it's exactly the same as my SBR. You just turn it, rotate it down until it locks. This little bottom rail will line up, and you just ratchet this down until it's tight. That's it. The gun's ready to suppress. Very quick detached system. Again, some Freedom Munitions 147 grain ammo. This is not their Hush line. This is just their standard 147 grain stuff. And let's see how quiet this is. Okay, so we've heard it on steel. Let me shoot it into the dirt. Yep, still quiet. Now you'll notice you'll see a little bit of smoke coming out up here. I've noticed some of you guys say that these cans are very gassy on these guns. I would say that they're far less gassy than a standard AR-15 or something like that. You get a little bit of gas, but I would not say that this can causes this gun to be way gassy back here in the shooter's face. Again, I'm not coughing, hacking, or anything like that. So you get a little bit of gas. You get most of the gas coming back down the barrel just like you would with any standard suppressed gun. Outside of OSS cans, which they don't make for handguns that I'm aware of at the moment. So anyway, the one last thing I do want to point out, I think this is a cool little detail from Tech Smith. Again, I like the fact that it latches the little mechanism. I do have a little bit of concern, given the nature of it. Stock locking mechanism is still kind of tight on the brace, but it's kind of set up where it could snag. I'd almost rather see that machined from aluminum. I know that would make it much more expensive, maybe in the future, but I could see myself, being the klutz that I am, snapping that little piece off. And it attaches simply by wedging itself underneath the two tightening screws of the Tailhook brace system. And I do like this Tailhook. It's a very cool little system. So yeah, this is extremely quiet. We will meter it. I don't know if I've metered this. We've metered so many cans. I don't know which ones we have and haven't, but we'll meter this in the spring when it warms up a little bit and get some solid data numbers for you guys on this, both at the muzzle and at the shooter's ear. But as far as I can tell, this thing is extremely pleasant to shoot without hearing protection on. The Tailhook adapters look very, very sharp, I think, on the B&T products. Of course, you've seen the TP9 US, the new one, with the new Tailhook adapter with the Tech Smith brace adapter on it. I think it looks really sharp on the gun. It's very minimalistic. It is made out of aluminum, and it looks very sharp and still is functional, even as a side folding brace. This is my GHM9. This is a new product from B&T. I've done a video on this gun already. This does have an APC9 lower, and it has an upper on it that's very similar to the KH9, but it's not a KH9. This is a new gun. But as you can tell, it has the B&T adapter on it, and you can easily extend the tailhook brace. Again, this is a simple brace system, just like my fingers are a little bit numb, so you can use it as a brace or fold it and shoulder that bad boy if you want. And again, this is one of my favorite guns. I have an MRO on here. I'll probably wind up picking up another MRO and sticking it on the new TP9. I think I'm probably still going to SBR that one, but I may not. I may just leave it like this one, because this one's one of my favorite little truck or Jeep guns. As you can see, I have a sling on it and everything, because it's just a cool little gun to grab and go. I like a 9mm carbine. I can suppress it with a 1/2x28 thread or a tri-lug, and it's just a neat little gun. So let me shoot this one here really quick for you guys using the Tailhook brace system. And what's kind of cool now is we have the safety that's like the APC9. This safety has been transferred over to the new TP9 as well. So again, it gives you that familiarity with that ambi lever control safety. Oh yeah, I forgot this thing likes to pull my beard hair. Ouch. Ouch. Look at this, guys. I don't know if Jason can zoom in on that. Those are all my facial hair that it just pulled. I still love it though. It causes me pain, but yeah, eventually I'll have a bald spot right here and you'll know what's been happening. I was out shooting my GHM9 for the afternoon. So yeah, these little braces are really, really cool. I like it quite a bit, and it's really hard to get away or around the super light weight of this gun. I think I pointed it out in a previous video. Without the suppressor on it, this gun empty weighs as much as a 1911 with an 8-round magazine in it that's loaded. That's how lightweight these TP9s are. So yeah, very, very cool setup. And again, they look great on the B&Ts. The new TP9s, along with most B&T products, usually see a couple of point increase in terms of their price every year, inflationary costs. So the new TP9s will probably cost just a little bit more than last year's models. This is the very first one we got into the shop. This is a demo unit. We do carry the guns at Copper Custom, and you can find us at coppercustom.com. It's our online store. But another way to support the channel is through Patreon. Patreon is a great way to support us here at the channel and our political activism. It might come as a surprise to you guys, but we are very politically active when we need to be. And right now, for whatever reason, we're still fighting for our gun rights, more now than even under the Obama administration, sadly, given recent events that have happened in the news. So if you'd like to support us, swing by the link down below, which is patreon.com/militaryarms, and become a supporter. We are viewer supported. Monetization on YouTube is pretty much all but gone. We get account strikes pretty much every week. We're constantly in a fight for our very existence here on YouTube. So also check us out over at full30.com. But we hope you enjoyed coming out to the range with us and shooting the TP9. We really hope you enjoyed checking out this new Tech Smith brace system for the TP9. I think it's awesome. It doesn't just work on the TP9. This brace system works with any of the B&T products that use the same mounting mechanism back here, which is quite a few of their guns. So check this out. I can't link to them, but do Google Tech Smith Manufacturing. You can find out more information about this brace mounting system. Of course, and this is just a tail hook, and you can find those guys fairly easily online. I do want to point out before we sign off that the gun will come in a standard TP9 style box. This hasn't changed from previous generations of the gun. You'll get a sling, you'll get an owner's manual, the gun, a 30-round magazine, and this cleaning kit all together. So, and it is not an airline approved cleaning kit. All in all, after about 400 some odd rounds fired this afternoon, we've had no issues with the brace coming loose. Everything seems to be nice and tight, works pretty well. Overall, I'm really happy with it, although the reason I wanted this gun is because I wanted the vertical fore-end grip, so I will go ahead and SBR this thing. As I mentioned earlier, we'll do that through our manufacturing license when we get it at Copper Custom, because that'll make it a lot faster than waiting on a Form 1. Then I can do the video showing you guys just how cool the vertical fore-end grip is on this gun. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for all those years of support. It has been 10 years now that we've been doing the Military Arms channel here on YouTube. Hopefully we have another 10 years, but at this point, this is kind of up to YouTube. We don't know where we're going to be in 10 years with regards to YouTube, but check us out again over on Full 30. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Now we're going to get rid of the last magazine I have loaded with just a generic, good old-fashioned mag dump. Yep, nothing beats a mag dump. Now it's time to pack everything up and go home. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.